Hey, I'm Elizabeth. I'm going through a spiritual awakening, and I've been going through a lot lately. My name is Elizabeth. I've been through a lot of trauma. I've been very emotionally abused in my life. And I've been trying to heal from all that trauma. I was very severely emotionally abused in my family by a narcissist. At 14, I started using drugs, and my family put me on heavy medication, heavy sedation, told me I was crazy, told me I was bipolar. By 17, I was fully addicted to prescription medication. By 21, I was hooked on cocaine and meth. And at 27, heroin and crack. I'm just gonna share my story. I'm just nervous and scared to talk about my life. Yesterday, I was sober 9 years. I completely changed my life with the help of God. And I've been having the most intense spiritual awakening since 2021, where 100% of the people in my life, friends and family, were working for the devil. They were against me. They laughed at me. They made me feel like I was crazy. By 21, when I was on meth and coke, at that point, my family had convinced doctors that I was too mentally ill to ever make decisions for myself, and there was nothing wrong with me. There was nothing wrong with me. So I was put on disability at 21 years old, permanent disability, for being mentally unstable. Severe bipolar and schizophrenia, which was drugs. I was being severely abused emotionally and was having side effects from drugs. Hallucinating. It was all from drugs. There was never anything wrong with me. From '15 to 21, I was forced against my will to have surgeries. There was nothing wrong with me. So when I started getting sober in 2015, have been currently trying to heal from all this trauma. And it's been hard. It's been hard. I feel like I was never loved. And the only thing I wanted in life was to be loved. I wanted to not be hated, and everybody in my life has hated me, treated me like shit, abused me. And I've just been trying to change that. I've been trying to change the trauma. I've been trying to heal. So, I started a relationship with God. I begged him to take all these shitty people out of my life. And that's when everything got really terrible. I mean, he answered my prayers. But 100% of any person that I dealt with was working for the devil. I didn't have one friend. Not one. And it's been terrible. It's been awful. The only friend that I have, the only person that I've been able to count on is God. I'm so isolated and so alone. God has been urging me to tell my story, to talk about my life. And I don't want anybody else to tell my story, because it wouldn't be right, it wouldn't be correct. I'm still shaking. I'm paralyzed with fear. I don't want to relive the trauma that I went through, but I'll share my story if it would help anybody, to show that you can heal from even the worst of situations. So, I'm currently now homeless, living in a hotel, because the last people that I lived with evicted me. They were also working for the devil. And what I mean when I say working for the devil is, I mean, people were paid in my life to torment me, to provoke me, to call me crazy, to make my life a living hell. My whole town was against me. It feels that way. So, right now, I'm at this hotel. I put my stuff in storage. It's in storage right now. I can't afford food. I can't afford to stay here. I mean, but have you ever been so alone that you just couldn't count on anybody but God? It's the only way I haven't killed myself. And I have tried to kill myself before. I did still have emotional problems. I still struggle with depression. Bad. Sometimes I can't get out of bed. Maybe 2019, 2020 was when I first got a bike, and I started putting all my time and attention into healing and getting in shape. I was 200 pounds. I was fat. I chain smoked cigarettes. I drank soda all day. I was miserable. I just really wanted to heal from all this emotional damage and trauma from not being loved. And I wanted to look at myself in the mirror and be happy. So I started to change my outside appearance. I started to work out all the time, and things got better. Things did get better. That's right around the time I started to rely on God, pray more. And one of my prayers, I cried a lot. One of my prayers was, please, God, take all these shitty people out of my life. People who are mistreating me. When all I was trying to do, me, not jealous of anybody, not hateful. I'm honestly just like so broken on the inside, trying to heal from a terrible childhood. And people in my life treated me like I was a threat. They would ignore me, leave me on read when I would talk about the things that were important to me, bettering myself, getting in shape, meditation, manifestation, moon cycles. People just ignored me and treated me like garbage, treated me like a piece of trash. That's when I started praying to God to please get rid of these shitty people, was my exact prayer. I mean, I was so miserable with everybody, every friend I had. No one was interested in the things I was interested in. Nobody wanted to heal from their childhood. All these people came from fucked up childhoods, horrible childhoods, but I was the only person that was trying to actively heal. I didn't want to be on medication. I didn't want to take medication anymore. I wanted to fix and heal my trauma. I wanted to be healthy and whole for myself. And it took me on a journey alone. I ended up cutting every person I knew out of my life. I'm not upset about it. Sometimes I'm still angry. Sometimes I wake up angry thinking about the things that people did to me. But that's just something that I have to work on. Pray a lot about my anger now, because I deal with it still. I just think, why was I treated so poorly? Why was I treated so bad? I mean, it's just the people that I knew were only interested in gossiping about other people, not trying to get better, not trying to heal. terrible people. It was like the people in my life were really like in the devil's advocate. When I looked at them, I could see demons coming out of their face. People were just, I could see that people were not for me in my life. I had to go on this journey alone with God, and it was so hard and so painful, and I'm still trying to heal from it. I mean, I just want to say, I was trying to be at a point in my life where I wasn't on medication. No anxiety medication, no sedatives, because I was heavily sedated. I think at one time, from 18 to 21, that was when I got my disability approval, permanent disability, saying I'm so mentally unstable and so crazy that I can't work. I was on so many sedatives and medication. They call it the Thorazine shuffle. I was not even a person. I couldn't do anything. And that was what my family wanted. My family was going with it. Seemed like the more doctors I saw, the more attention my mom got, the more attention my family got for having such a beautiful mentally ill daughter. I can't even breathe right now. And it took me until I had been sober 6 or 7 years to really see there was nothing wrong with me. I was on drugs. I was having side effects from methamphetamine. I had 2 methamphetamine-induced strokes. I shouldn't even be here. I shouldn't be alive. I tried to kill myself 2 or 3 times from all the prescription medication I was on. I took 120 Klonopin and 30 Ambien and didn't die. I was put in mental institutions. I mean, all this, my family was going with it. What a shame to have a beautiful mentally ill daughter. And it's taken me years of being sober to see the truth. Years of not being on medication to see that nothing was wrong with me. So, like a lot of people that come from very, very mentally abusive, emotionally abusive homes, I turned to drugs. I wanted to escape. Drugs, I didn't like alcohol. Drugs was the only thing that, my only love. Drugs was my comfort. It's so sad to think about. I was such a junkie. I was so strung out. Sorry, I'm crying. It's hard to think about. It's hard to relive. And I haven't had anybody to talk to about it that has said anything nice. The people in my life, after I've said this, have offered me drugs. Really? Seriously? The girl I was living with last summer found all this out cried, looked me in my eyes and cried, saying, I can't believe you got your life together and are away from drugs, and leaves drugs on the table, offers me drugs. And at that point in my life, last summer, was really when the attacks got crazy. But that's what kind of people I've had in my life. People trying to get me to go back on drugs. People trying to call me crazy after they hear my story in my life. People who have heard the trauma I've been through, wanting to get me to be crazy and do drugs again, and not hearing what I'm saying are the kinds of things that I've faced. I mean, just a life full of hate and trauma and people abusing me, to where I only had God. I could only turn to God. God was the only person I could trust. I mean, because everybody, including my closest friends, my childhood friends, turned against me, called me crazy, took money to torment me, all while I'm just trying to be loving and heal. I'm just trying to be honest about what I've been through and trying to heal from such a fucked up childhood. So it's like I was never a threat. In my eyes, I wasn't a threat to anybody. I was just trying to stay in my own lane and go back and heal childhood trauma. And it's just crazy that every person I knew turned against me. I just want to try something new. God has been asking me to tell my story, that it's going to inspire people. And I've been so resistant. I've been scared. I don't want to relive this trauma, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I want to be obedient. I want to be obedient to God. I want to share the things that have happened to me in an honest way. And I want to tell my story myself. So that's what I'm gonna do. Even if I have to cry through it, I'm sorry. Thank you for bearing with me. August 5th, 2024 was 9 years sober for me. In 2015, I stopped taking all my prescription medication, which at one time was 19 or 20 pills, which I will talk to you about how I feel about medication for me, because I feel like I was abused and forced to be on medications from age 14 to 21 to 35. I'll talk to you honestly about how the doctors in my life weren't listening to me. How literally every circumstance in my life was against me. Tried to keep me doped up on medication, saying I wasn't coherent. So in 2015, I stopped 20 prescription medications. last summer, the spiritual warfare and attacks on my life were so bad I had to go back on a mood stabilizer, which I stopped that in May. It's August now. I'm having a hard time again. But coming off all the prescription medication was the best thing for me. It helped me be clear about what had really happened in my life. It helped me to trust my intuition more, listen to my body's reactions to certain people during my spiritual awakening. I mean, mainly God has told me that my story is going to inspire people and save hundreds of thousands of lives. And I've been so resistant to get on here and talk about my story, not because I'm scared of what other people will say. I'm just scared to talk, period. I'm paralyzed with fear from trauma. But I want to be obedient to God. I want you to hear what I've been through. And thank you for listening.